Hey, Lacey. This is a response video that I told Lacey that I would make because she did a great video this week talking about like ego and taking a little bit too much pleasure in attention and that kind of thing. And she just wanted to know if anybody else felt that way, if anybody else went through that, and if they did, you know, how did they feel about it? Okay, so I had lots of thoughts about it, way too much to write down, but I can tell you right now, my thoughts are really not organized, so I'm probably going to be all over the place. But first thing I want to say is that I think, you know, of course our history influences this part of our journey, you know. For me, I'm what I would call a lifelong fat, and I think there's a lot of us out there. There's some people who were normies and then gained weight and then couldn't lose it and that kind of thing. But for me, being a lifelong fat, I, you know, was confident in lots of other things. And I said it in videos past, you know, probably years ago, that before I had weight loss surgery and lost all this weight, I was confident in my career, in my personality. I like, you know, I was always friendly and accommodating and da-da-da. I was confident in my family and that I had great kids and a nice home and good relationships within my family. There was no, you know, drama and animosity. Married, you know, I had a successful marriage. I just, and to a certain extent, and I've talked to other people about this, that you kind of get this feeling like if I can't be great at like looking good, I can be great at everything else because I can control everything else. And so you're like hyper fabulous at everything else. And then I always kind of felt like if I had all those things, then that means something else would suffer. So if it was my looks because I was heavy, then so be it. I was the you know, life's lovely trade-off that I made to have a great life. It meant that I was going to have to be fat. Okay. So then I think as I lost the weight, it didn't really affect me until after I had my tummy tuck and I got a lot more self-confidence in the way I looked. Then I kind of felt like, oh, if I feel good about the way I look now, I've lost the weight, I'm healthy, I'm fit, I appreciate the way I look, that means something else in my life needs to suffer, right? Because you can't have it all. Nobody can have it all. So that kind of messed with my head a bit. But when it comes to how I feel about how I look, I do feel like I like the way I look now. And I do enjoy walking into a room and noticing if somebody notices me in a pleasant way. And I don't necessarily, for me, this is just my opinion, I'm not a therapist or anything, but I really honestly don't think it's a bad thing for me right now. I do think we kind of go through an adolescent stage. You know, we've talked about that before with the weight loss, and you got like your body's like a new toy, and you know, you got all these new feelings and things. But even with how you appreciate your looks, you go through an adolescent stage where it's something that we didn't have, or at least I didn't have when I was like a teenager or in my young 20s. I never had people really notice me. Like you said, I had, you know, people, you know, there's a few people who like heavy people, and you got a little taste of attention here and there, but nothing like if you would have been a normal size. And you have a gorgeous face, so you know. So we didn't really develop those life skills to deal with that and to be used to that. And so then when you're getting into your 30s, and for me, I just turned 40, and you've never dealt with that, and all of a sudden you have to deal with it, it feels immature to enjoy it. I agree. It feels like I shouldn't care about that, but you know what? I care about that. I do like knowing that I get looks. You know, if I wear certain outfits, or if my hair's done up nice, and you know I get looks, and I do enjoy it. And I've questioned before if it was if I took a little bit too much enjoyment out of it, but then I got to the point where I'm like, you know what, F it, I'm enjoying it. I never had it before, and I'm taking my moment in the sunshine to enjoy it. I think when it becomes a problem is if you expected so much that you walk into a room and nobody notices you, and your day is ruined, and you're pissed off, and it like totally s with your head, and it ruins your day. If you're getting to a point where your mood for the day depends on it, that's a problem. If you get to a point where you're having to tear other people down to make yourself, to point out your qualities, that's a problem. But if it's just a matter of a little ego stroke here and there, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think we've been deprived of that for so long. It's just a whole new feeling, and it feels a bit uncomfortable. I remember when I first I think I might have been like 50 or 60 pounds down. People were really starting to notice my weight loss, and they were like, "Oh, you look fantastic, and how much weight have you lost?" And I felt so uncomfortable. I felt so stared at and seen, and I never had really been seen before. I always made myself look just presentable enough that I would just blend in, and I wouldn't stand out as the fat girl. I knew I couldn't stand out as the hot girl, so good enough was good enough. But then I got past that initial phase of the totally feeling completely uncomfortable with it, and then I relished it quite a bit when I first started getting noticed, and now I just enjoy it. I don't put a lot of stock into it. I just take the pleasure out of it that I get out of it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as it's not affecting your mood to hurt yourself, emotionally, and you're not emotionally hurting somebody else to make yourself feel better. And I do think it is a little bit of a phase initially when you really start enjoying it, and you really realize people see you. And I do think it dies down just a little bit, but in my experience, it doesn't go away completely. I like getting fixed up. I liked getting fixed up before I lost weight. I've always liked doing my hair and makeup and feeling like I was, presentable. That's not really anything new. It's just, I think there's a new appreciation for it from the opposite sex that was never there before, and even from the same sex. Like you said, we pump each other up on Facebook, and I could tell you, when you made the, asking about how we pump each other up on Facebook, if I make a comment, it's because I really feel it. Like, if I don't think somebody looks fabulous, I'm not gonna say they look fabulous. I'm just not gonna say anything at all. So if I say something, it's because it's coming from my heart, and that's what I think. Sorry to declare, it's just terrible. Yeah, this video is all over the place, but I just want you to know that you're not alone, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think it's part of learning the new us and appreciating what we look like now, and I don't think it's a bad thing. But again, like I said, I'm not a therapist. I'm not an expert. It's just my opinion. So we can hang out together and pump up our egos. All right. Have a great weekend. Love you. Bye, Lacey.